Here is the second video that I'm about to play. So this is part 2. Enjoy. Part 2. So in part 2, you'll see him bringing authentic reports. And watch what I will do to all of his so-called authentic reports. Watch. Flash, aka Basil, finally decided to respond to my previous video. Big mistake, ya Abfu. Why did you do that, ya Ghabi? Why are you forcing me to shish kebab you like a fat, juicy piggy during the month of Ramadan? In my previous video... Imagine, even during the month of Ramadan, their supposed holiest month, I have to shish kebab him and serve him as a sacrifice, Brother Reverson. Watch how I'm going to sacrifice him with knowledge. You saw that I challenged all Muslims to give us an authentic narration for the Cave Hira incident where Jibreel should have introduced himself to Muhammad saying, I am Jibreel.
Okay, Rob, question.
Yes.
Did you say, challenge me? Where does Jibreel say, I'm Jibreel?
Show me in the story of Cave Hira, when he appeared to Muhammad, that he said to Muhammad, I'm Jibreel. Show me.
Habibi anta. Give me a big screen? Okay, let's bring it. So I actually have 2, yeah?
Authentic narration.
Yes, why would it be daif, bro?
My challenge for all Muslims was very, very clear. Show me a sound, authentic narration where Jibreel introduced himself to the Prophet of Islam saying, I am Jibreel in Cave Hira. My challenge is very clear, right? I want a sound narration for that Cave Hira incident. Again, I did not ask about a different or later incident outside the Cave of Hira. You must be a true product of cousin marriage if you fail to understand the challenge the first time. You'll see that my previous challenge is still unanswered and undefeated. And if you have watched my previous video, I addressed all the books that he brought in our debate. So in his new video, he decided to bring other books to try to refute me because he failed the first time. But you and what army can defeat me?
Rob, just to give you a final big boom,
Yeah, we'll see who's going to give the final boom on who's Tease, yeah, Mr. Tease. I will spank Teasak so hard that you'll not be able to sit for the entire month of Ramadan.
Now I'm going to bring sources that authenticate the same hadith. First book, Sahih min ahadith, As-Sirah An-Nabawiyah.
Brother Reverson, did you notice something? Instead of him giving us the authentic narration from Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya, he went to other books, right?
Yeah.
Do you see how he brought other books?
It is not the same proof he used the first time, obviously.
So after doing a lot of research, after months and months of research and collecting all of these sources, watch what I will do to all of these so-called authentic narrations. Guys, what I'm going to do in part 2 of the video is any narration that is even Sahih or graded as Sahih must be completely rejected because, as we said earlier, all of them, these so-called authentic narrations, they might be graded as Sahih or Hasan, but when they contradict Islam itself, when it contradicts the standard narrative that Muslims believe in about their Prophet, when it contradicts Bukhari and Muslim, you have to throw them in the garbage, even if they have the narration or the grading Sahih. You're catching it, right, Brother Reverson? Can you repeat after me again? What did I just say, Brother Reverson, in your own words?
Yes, we just said that any narration, even if it is authentic in the books, it contradicts the Bukhari and Muslim hadith, is automatically rejected because they are held to a higher regard in the Muslim Sunni world.
Watch, guys. So he's going to bring so-called authentic narration, even if they have grading Sahih or Hasan, but if they contradict what Muslims believe about Muhammad, it must be thrown out immediately through the window, in the sewage, in the garbage where they belong, even if they are Sahih. Watch.
Authenticate the same hadith. First book, As-Sahih min ahadith.
Thank you for the donation. Anonymous Jesus Lover donated $20. Love you, bro. Keep it up. Thank you, my friend. God bless you. May the Lord keep you safe and whole and blessed. Stay blessed, brother. W in the chat for the brother who donated $20 for the ministry. God bless you, brother.
السيرة النبوية. Page 34 right here, where we can see same hadith. يا محمد أنت رسول الله وأنا جبريل. Repeated twice. What does it say on the next page? سنده صحيح. What does it say right underneath that? هذا سند صحيح. And then there's تعديل of وهب bin Kaysan. Second book, السيرة النبوية كما جاءت في الحديث الصحيحة. Right here.
He can't even read Arabic properly, Brother Riverson. His Arabic is so bad. Pakistani boy. He doesn't even understand what he reads, by the way, huh? He's just doing it just, to win an argument. That's it. You see, any narration, even if it's authentic, I will throw it in the bin because I'm going to prove to him that he follows a maniac, because these sources that he brought show us that Muhammad was mentally ill. Watch what I will do.
On page 63, we have the same hadith repeated. Ya Muhammad anta Rasulullah wa ana Jibreel twice. And then what does it say on the next page? إسناده صحيح يا حرام. For the final book, we have فتح ذي الجلال في تخريج حديث الظلال. Right
By the way, I'm going to bury this book as well that he just brought, because the same copy, the same scan, Islamic anus on x.com used. The same scan. They're literally selling each other the same scans, by the way, Brother Riverson. They don't even do their own investigation. They just pass them around. They gave it also to Quora. That's what they do. They don't do their own investigation, brother. Clearly, there's a couple of people there on their Discord servers and Telegram groups. One or maybe two guys. And they are doing all of this so-called research. Very, very terrible research. And they pass around all of these scans. That's what they do. But when they use them against us, in debates with us, they're going to be cooked because they did not do enough investigation. If maybe it contradicts, maybe these authentic reports contradict our prophet, contradict the main narrative about our prophet. Could it be possible? But no, you didn't do your research. That's why I will bake you in front of today's audience one more time.
Volume 3, page 1565. It says on the same page, Ya Muhammad anta Rasulullah wa ana Jibreel, repeated twice, and it calls it Hasan Sahih. And on the next line, we see exactly why. It reads, تقدم تخريجه من حديث جابر وعائشة في سورة المزمل ومن رواية ابن إسحاق.
Bro, if that's Arabic, then the Arabic teachers will have a field day with this. Brother Riverson, this is Arabic?
He's failing for sure.
Oh. Oh my God. So he brought all of these books, and watch what I would do. All of these books. Watch.
Here accepts it in Siyara and Amanubala, and he also accepts it right here in Tariq Islam. And he was also crying about me not showing the chain, so here's the chain right here, beautifully laid out in Tariq Dimashq, volume 63, page 12, which, by the way, Ibn Asakir also accepts. And I dare him to come and show where it's very weak.
Guys, notice, he challenges me. I dare him to show us that it's weak. Watch how I will show you. Watch how I will show you that it's not only weak, but completely rejected. Completely rejected, not only weak. A step further, right, Brother Riverson? Not only weak, but completely rejected. Munkar. Watch. Sincere question to you, Basil, and all of your fanboys who are listening, or might have agreed with you that you actually cooked. Did you at least, and I mean at least, read the text inside these reports? Because all of them state that your prophet was a suicidal maniac who tried to jump from the high mountain. And that's why Jibreel came to stop. So notice, guys, all of these reports contradict the authentic reports like Bukhari and Muslim. They are all weak in matan, i.e. in the text. It contradicts the standard Muslim belief about their false prophet. They also say that the incident happened while the prophet is asleep and not awake. So imagine, guys, Jibreel visited Muhammad in a dream. It didn't happen actually in Cave Hira. So if you accept these reports, you have to believe that Jibreel only appeared to Muhammad in a dream. Not yaqada, not while being in a state of awake. Woo! So they contradict Bukhari, they contradict Muslim, for example. And these reports states that the prophet is suicidal. So if you accept these so-called authentic reports, you have to accept, you have to admit that you follow a mentally disturbed, mentally ill, suicidal prophet who wanted to jump from the high mountains and commit suicide. On top of that, they also say that the prophet is not illiterate. Because in those reports it said, what should I read? Muhammad can read and write? Ooh. So these reports contradict the standard Sunni Muslim narrative or belief. All of them. Stop him saying, I am Jibreel. So as you noticed, this is much later after the cave Hira incident. On top of that, it didn't happen in the cave. Notice, what was the main challenge, Brother Reverson?
An instance where Jibril came to him in cave Hira and presented himself as Jibril.
But these reports are referring to about 3 to 5 years later after the death of Waraqa, when he became suicidal, remember? Yeah. Oh, boy. Let's continue. And I'm really confused, Ya Basil. Am I the Muslim or are you? Because at this point, it feels as if I am the one defending your prophet, while you are desperately trying to prove that you follow a mentally challenged prophet that anyone should avoid like a plague. And if that's not bad, these reports also state that he was not illiterate, and these weak reports state that he was not awake but was having a dream. So are you against me or are you with me trying to make my point for me? I'm a bit confused. This is really awkward, man. And are you sure that you are a real Muslim? I'm starting to have doubts about you. The problem is, all of these reports are pretty long and sometimes might have the grading Sahih. But because Muslims are lazy, or maybe they are illiterate like their false prophet, they don't investigate if the matan or text is contradicting other authentic reports found, for example, in Bukhari, or they might contradict the standard Islamic narrative about the Prophet. And the awkward part is his gullible Muslim audience think that he actually cooked. How embarrassing. I'll try to keep this video as short as possible, so I will show you what the scholars said about all these so-called Sahih reports. I'll drop the sources in the description box. I'll use the Salafi Islam Q&A website and the famous Sheikh Muhammad Nasruddin al-Albani to spank him. I will show you what they said about all of these reports that have the sentence, O Muhammad, you are the messenger of Allah and I am Jibreel. Al-Albani in his book Silsilat al-Ahadith al-Da'ifa wal-Mawdu'a, volume 10, pages 450 to 458, pretty much went through all of these reports. As you see, the report with the sentence, O Muhammad, you are the messenger of Allah and I am Jibreel, is in the context of Muhammad becoming suicidal, wanting to jump from the high mountain, and not inside cave Hira that happened 3 to 5 years earlier. Different place, different context, and different time. That happened after the death of Waraqa ibn Nawfal, when the revelation stopped for a long period of time. On the Islam, so notice, Brother Reverson, if I go back a little bit, notice how it contradicts Bukhari, right? Even if it's authentic, it contradicts Bukhari. It contradicts Muslim. And Muhammad can read and write. And it happened 3 to 5 years, as you see. After.
Right?
Yep. Because Cave Hira was 3 to 5 years earlier than the death of Waraqa. Did you catch it?
Yeah.
So it contradicts the standard narrative in Islam about their prophet. And Muhammad is suicidal. Muhammad is suicidal in these reports. Revelation stopped for a long period of time. On the Islam Q&A website, under the section The Rejected Hadiths, we find a similar report on top. As you see, again, this is in the context of Muhammad trying to kill himself, with the same sentence repeated twice. The Salafi scholar on the website said, وَمَتْنْ هَذِهِ رِوَايَةٌ مُنْكَرٌ مُخَالِفٌ لِرِوَايَاتِ الصَّحِيحَةِ. Do you see what the scholar said, Brother Reverson? Please translate what you see on the screen.
Yes, it says, and it says here that the chain of this narration is actually rejected, and it contradicts the Sahih narrations.
Munkar.
Yeah.
مخالف لروايات الصحيحة, right?
Yeah.
So if you accept these reports, even if the grading says it's Sahih, but the matan, the text inside that report contradicts Islam. It contradicts the belief about Muhammad. That's why they are munkar, they are rejected, because they contradict Islam. Did you catch it? Boom. So all of these reports that he brought, I just shish kebabbed him, and I shish kebabbed all of his so-called authentic reports by using his own scholars against him. At al-Sahiha, the text of this narration is rejected, munkar, and contradicts authentic narrations. This text states that the Prophet's meeting with Jibreel was in a dream, not while awake. Furthermore, it includes the Prophet's statement, "What should I read?" Both of these are false. The meeting between the two, meaning Jibreel and Muhammad, was while he was awake. And what the Prophet said, "I do not know how to read," for example, in Bukhari hadith number 3, refutes the idea that the Prophet was literate. Yet this rejected narration proves that he was not illiterate. So this report is automatically weak because it has all kind of defects and it contradicts the authentic sources. So notice, guys, even if they have the grading Sahih, but because they contradict Bukhari, for example, they contradict Sahih Muslim, they are automatically thrown out even if the grading is Sahih. So it's a weak, rejected report. Boom. Do you see what I just did to him? Do you see what I did before?